We're going to use this Somso model to give you a quick tour of the larynx and the hyoid bone. Here's the hyoid bone. You can see its U-shape, and here's the larynx with its thyroid cartilage, the cricoid cartilage. If we turn it around, we see a pair of arytenoid cartilages and the epiglottic cartilage above. Realize that the middle constrictor of the pharynx attaches to the hyoid right there, and the inferior constrictor attaches to the thyroid cartilage right there. Anything that will lift the hyoid will also act on the pharynx. Anything that pulls it down also acts on the pharynx. There is a synovial joint there that connects the thyroid and cricoid cartilage that allows the thyroid to pivot on the cricoid. There's one on either side. If you look from behind, there are small synovial joints underneath each arytenoid cartilage that allows that movement right there. They'll rotate. They will also slide together or slide apart, but that's not shown by this model. The reason that that's important is because the vocal cords are right there, and they attach at the posterior end to the muscular processes of each arytenoid cartilage. At the anterior end, they attach to the apex of the thyroid lamina. So the anterior end is fixed, whereas the posterior end moves. See how when you rotate or move the arytenoids, that abducts or adducts the vocal folds. The muscles that accomplish those actions are the posterior cricoarytenoids there. They're named for what they attach to. Right there is the transverse arytenoideus muscle, fibers going straight across, and we can also see the oblique fibers, the oblique arytenoideus, but they also will continue in a fold that attaches then to the epiglottis. That's called the aryepiglotticus muscle. That's all covered with folds of mucosa that creates the aryepiglottic folds that I imagine that I pinch on either side there. If we contract the muscles right there, those are the lateral cricoarytenoids. Those muscles will close the vocal cords or adduct, the opposite the posteriors. In fact, the posterior muscles are the only muscles that will abduct. The transverse arytenoideus and the lateral arytenoids, or the cricoarytenoids, will adduct the vocal folds. If we tip this up, we see the vocal folds are currently adducted. There's the vocal ligament, and on either side is a muscle called the vocalis muscle. The vocalis muscles serve to shorten and tense the vocal folds. If we look at the anterior side, we can see the final pair of important intrinsic muscles of the larynx. Those are called the cricothyroid, and they tilt the thyroid cartilage forward on the cricoid cartilage like that. You can see what happens there. It stretches the vocal cords and would increase the pitch of the voice.